A good friend of mine, Marcus James, towards the end of 2019, he reached out to me wanting to do a music video and said that he had got some funding, and so we began kind of planning a bit of a narrative. And so I came up with this concept with the other co-director on the piece, Bailey.
The story that we wanted to tell was this girl's life who at this point is a little bit like hopeless. We really wanted to kind of put you into this girl's point of view for a couple minutes.
You know, this character, she's taking care of her father, and her father struggles with alcohol abuse.
And we see that this young daughter is having to pick up all the chores around the house.
And she's not sure where the next step is in her life. Whether she should kind of leave her small town and her father, somebody that's kind of holding you back, but you also care so much for, and you know, you understand that they're struggling as well.
We show that our main character uses music as an outlet. And so she also uses a part of her property to find some peace and calm her down when she's upset about the fact that her father isn't the way that he used to be.
We tried to tell the story in 3 acts. And so in our first little act, we wanted to kind of show off the situation, show off a little bit of the world and all these bottles on the table, all this unopened mail. It's kind of a cluttered place. And showing that she's trying to take care of him. She really does care about him, and she's doing everything she can.
We're trying to think of a way that we could show the need for somebody to kind of escape for a better life in a more creative dynamic. This is something that I think hits a little bit more closer to home and is a little bit more real.
We wanted to kind of convey these 2 different areas in her life. So there's obviously the house, and then there's, you know, out in the field. And that's where she can kind of put on the music and drown out everything that's going on inside those 4 walls.
So we introduce the performance take as she goes to put her headphones on, and we kind of wrap around her to then reveal the 2 guys that are in the field with her performing, as though they're kind of not actually there in real life, but they're in her head and are performing with her as she's using music as her outlet.
So the cool thing is sometimes things just work out perfectly. And I have this shot that I absolutely love, and we're pushing through the grass as our girl character is kind of listening to the music, enjoying herself. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful push in, and like the focus is just so on point, and there's so much depth, and it's such a dynamic move. That's one of my favorite shots in this music video. So for a 3rd act in the narrative side of things, we switch things up. It's the first time that we actually jump to handheld. So the rest of the video is this smooth, elegant look, and then we jump into this kind of rough handheld, clearly something is going on. And so the goal with that is to kind of just very quickly tell the audience that something's off, something's clearly very wrong.
Go back to how they used to be when we were happy.
This was a really cool shot because we decided to do it in a oneer. So it's about a 50-second continuous take. We drew out a bird's eye of this house, and Jacob and I actually spent a lot of time on a whiteboard playing with different magnets as though they were the characters. So there were a lot of elements that we had to figure out, and like, how can we actually facilitate this move to work and also hit the beats of the song? And so it was quite a choreographed, quite a timed out thing in order to make sure that this kind of came across as we wanted to. Another cool element about this shot, it's actually something called an iris pull. And so we had a secondary wireless motor that was able to kind of shift that element in the lens in order for it to get darker, moving from inside to outside. And hopefully you didn't notice, because the goal is for this just to be a very seamless part of the story, and you shouldn't even be thinking about this. We had a lot of different options and ideas for how we wanted to kind of conclude this video. And it's always a hard thing because sometimes less is more. And so we thought it was effective to just have her sit on the swing and have a moment and kind of reflect on where her life is at. And we didn't want to read in too much about whether she leaves or whether she stays. We just kind of wanted to give you a glimpse into, you know, a different perspective.
Cut.
I hope you guys enjoyed this BTS, and if you have any questions for us or want other topics covered throughout the video, please leave a comment below. And if you haven't checked the video out already, please go over to Marcus James' YouTube channel and let us know what you think.